King Kong in the trunk.
I'm back. Rhodes Rants on Star Wars. If you like this video, like and subscribe. Join the Road Squadron. Kicking it old school. Circa On the Roads Again channel. In the car. That's how this channel started. Car videos. Anyway, I was thinking about something. Star Wars. For all the blame that we want to put on Lucasfilm and Disney for the state of Star Wars, and they absolutely do carry a large weight of blame. The fact is, I believe there is a more damaging perpetrator to the state of Star Wars right now. You may be thinking, well, who? They make the decisions. Well, at the end of the day, they do make the decisions. However, I believe somebody has cut off Bob Iger's balls and stuck them in a glass jar. The mainstream media. That's right. The fact is, do I believe that Disney and Lucasfilm really and truly wants to make money, and they want to make the maximum amount of money that they can? Particularly the shareholders. Yes, absolutely. However, in the current state of Hollywood and of mainstream media, the media has took it upon themselves to make Lucasfilm, Kathleen Kennedy, and Rian Johnson beacons of social light. Okay? They have put these entities on a pedestal. And the media, in turn, has ruined Star Wars. They have basically made it as such that essentially Lucasfilm cannot even make business decisions because of the scrutiny they will come under from the media. The fact is, unfortunately, the fans have become second fiddle to pleasing the mainstream media. And you may be thinking, well, that doesn't make sense, blah, blah, blah. Well, let's look at the fact that the media has taken it upon themselves to defend and shelter The Last Jedi and Rian Johnson. And Kathleen Kennedy. So, we have a product that when articles are written about The Last Jedi, you notice audience scores are never brought up. But it's talked about and referred to as how big of a critical darling that movie is. A movie that the director of Fanboy said he has literally talked to. He couldn't tell you how many critics, and the critics said they didn't like the movie, but they're afraid of Disney. You have two entities, and they're literally afraid of each other. Disney is afraid of the backlash from the mainstream media, and the mainstream media is scared to dog out Disney because they might lose access, unless that includes dogging them out over social issues, because we know they will do that in a minute, especially if they think there's some sort of a political underlying, and they like to claim that, you know, we're all Trump supporters. Even though I lean left, they want to blame The Last Jedi's shortcomings. We just saw a survey that the mainstream media ran with regarding The Last Jedi. And that's my point. I mean, it's like every other week we have an article defending Rian Johnson and The Last Jedi in that fucking movie. I believe that Kathleen Kennedy, and I got to thinking about this, really and truly, if you look at the wording of Michelle Rayzwan's title, she is the Kevin Feige of Lucasfilm now. Well, last year, Grace Randolph reported that Bob Iger tried to replace Kathleen Kennedy with J.J. Abrams, and he turned it down. He didn't want the job. However, now you have somebody over live action, feature films, and TV that is a direct disciple of J.J. Abrams. Okay, and I understand, even among the fandom menace, there's two factions of fans. There's fans like me that like The Force Awakens and like JJ and hate Rian Johnson. And then there is a faction of fans that hate all of it. I get it. Okay? But I do believe JJ's trying to right this ship. Do I believe it will happen? No, I do not. I just don't think there's a story there to tell that is going to save the sequel trilogy, because the new characters were so destroyed by Rian Johnson, and he killed off Luke Skywalker. Essentially, this sequel trilogy ended with The Last Jedi. Now, we may get a good Star Wars movie. I do think The Rise of Skywalker will be much, much better than The Last Jedi. And in a vacuum, I think it's going to end up being a pretty good film. I think it's going to be an entertaining Star Wars film. However, as far as being something that's going to be tied in, super tight with lore and all that sort of thing, I don't think it can happen, because I think Rian Johnson left the franchise in ruins. I think Bob Iger would have probably fired Kathleen Kennedy by now, but he simply cannot fire a woman with her track record as a producer in Hollywood. The media will fucking destroy Bob Iger and Disney. They'll destroy him. I mean, the media is literally, when the article, when the news about Rejwan getting promoted came out, there were articles out there talking about how big of a problem there was that there wasn't enough female directors. So social justice warriors still weren't happy with the hiring of a woman. Well, that wasn't enough, because they haven't named a woman to direct a film. So you get my point, that the mainstream media is as much at fault for the state of Star Wars being left where it's at right now as Lucasfilm. Because Hollywood will destroy Lucasfilm, and the media will destroy Lucasfilm if they fire Kathleen Kennedy and Rian Johnson. Unfortunately, I mean, look at what the media has done. Went out of his way to defend a movie that's got a 44% on Rotten Tomatoes. They don't defend Batman vs. Superman like that. And it's a controversial movie among fans, but they don't do it. They don't defend it. There's a lot of movies like that over history. Just The Last Jedi. And the media has made the fandom menace out to be, you know, a bunch of racist and sexist. So if they fire Kathleen Kennedy and Rian Johnson, guess what? Disney caved to the racists and the sexist members of the fandom menace. Which we know that's not the case. I mean, there's how many women and African Americans and people of different ethnic backgrounds part of this community. But that's not what the media will say. They will say Disney succumbed to the toxic fandom. Do I believe that Disney and Lucasfilm wants to make money and have maximum asses in seats for films? Sure they do. They're a business. But they're a business that is led around by their Johnson, by the media, the mainstream media. CNN, MSNBC, Screen Rant, Collider, Vanity Fair, all of these media outlets that will destroy Lucasfilm. I don't know how we ever win this battle because of the media. Now, it's possible that they promote Kathleen Kennedy into another position, and that's how we get sort of saved. But there was never going to be an out-and-out firing because of the media. It wouldn't matter if you do boycott episode 9. It won't matter. Because of the media backlash, they will not fire her. Now, they may put off Rian Johnson until he quits, but they're not going to fire him either. And word has it, he doesn't even have his trilogy anymore. And that it's common knowledge. You tell me what you think in the comment section, Road Squadron. Is the media as much to blame for Kathleen Kennedy and Rian Johnson's continued involvement as Lucasfilm? You tell me. Peace, I'm out. Till next time.